Want to know how to learn a language 2 times faster? Here's a quick hint. It involves reading and listening to your target language at the same time. It's a super easy yet powerful method that anyone can apply to absorb a language. And you can apply this method with the lesson notes inside our learning system. So stick around. Today, you'll discover why listening and reading along is so powerful, what the lesson notes are and how to get them, and 3 ways to learn faster with the lesson notes. But first, if you don't yet have access to our language learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. So let's jump in. I'll guide you through our learning system so you get to see exactly what's inside and our members-only study tools. Okay, so in this lesson, let's take a look at the lesson notes on our website. But first, I want you to imagine that you're listening to native speakers that are having a conversation. Maybe you catch a word or 2 here or there, but the rest kind of goes over your head because they're speaking really fast. There are lots of unknown words and sentence patterns, and this is a really common thing that lots of beginners really struggle with. But what if you could listen to that conversation and follow along at the same time? You're reading the things that they are saying as they're speaking. Makes it really easy to understand everything, right? But this also will help you to retain the information and remember it better because you're listening to it and you're reading it at the same time. So that's what we're going to look at today with the lesson notes. This is a tool that you can have in every single lesson on our website. So let's talk about how to find it and how you can use it. So we're going to start from the dashboard on the website, but there are a few different ways that you can access the lesson notes. So from the dashboard, you can go to any lesson that's in your pathways list here. So for example, I'm going to go to the Go to Lesson button here that is currently in the active pathway. And to access the lesson notes for this current lesson, I'm going to just click on the lesson notes link, which is just below this main dashboard panel here. So when we go to lesson notes, we find some basic information about the lesson. What is the lesson focus, right? In this case, it's about asking about health or general situation of someone, right? So this is a very basic overview. But inside the lesson notes, you will find the dialogue from the lesson. You'll find the things that they said. You'll find some information about it. Why do we say this expression? Why did the person say it that way, right? We also have some examples of other things that we can say in that situation. There are some sample sentences that you can use for reference, pronunciation tips. You'll find culture tips as well. There's key vocabulary, key phrases. Depending on the language you're studying and the level, you might also find some grammar tips. So you'll find a little bit of an outline about how to use that grammar. So there's a lot of information all inside the lesson notes for you to read. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the different ways that you can use these lesson notes. So let's say, for example, you take this lesson today, and then you want to review the lesson tomorrow. You come to the website and you decide you want to review the lesson, but you don't want to just listen to the lesson again, right? What you can do is come to the lesson notes section, for example, and read through the information as you listen to the lesson. So you're reading the dialogue as you listen to the lesson. You read through everything as you listen along. Maybe you choose to speak along with the lesson, or you do some shadowing practice with the lesson. You write down the example sentences that are provided or the sample sentences that are provided. You do some work with the pronunciation tip that is included in the lesson, right? You can copy out the sentences that are written here and use that for writing practice. So there are lots of different things that you can do with the lesson notes that aren't just about like listening and kind of reviewing separately, if you know what I mean. You can put them all together. So you listen to the lesson and then you read the lesson notes at the same time, and then maybe you listen again without the lesson notes. So you can integrate these into your review sessions so that you're not just listening every time, but you're also really thinking about the different ways that you can use the language, speaking and reading and writing, so that you retain the information, you remember it better, and so that you learn faster. Lastly, I want to point out that if you continue scrolling down on this page, you'll also find a lesson transcript if you want to review that also. The last point that I want to make then is this download as PDF button. So you can click this at the bottom of the lesson notes section, or there's another one at the bottom of the lesson transcript section too. If you want to download this and save it for maybe using it on your phone, on your computer, if you want to print it out or something like that. It's up to you. You can do that very easily here. Choose download as PDF to do that. So this is a really quick introduction to all the different ways that you can use the lesson notes to make sure that you're learning quickly and efficiently, and to make your review sessions really kind of interesting and not just listening to exactly the same thing as you listened to the day or the week before. So again, you can find the lesson notes from the lesson notes link at the bottom of every lesson dashboard on the website. And you can review the lesson without retaking the lesson with the lesson notes. You just read through, review the lesson's dialogue, grammar, and vocabulary. It just takes a minute or two. But why do this? Well, one of the best ways to acquire language is through repeated exposure. So you take a lesson and then review the lesson notes after for that repeated exposure. So, if you want to learn the language and get access to these learning tools and our learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account.